The ADHD epidemic. By 2010, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention data indicated that more than 10 million children have been diagnosed with ADHD in doctors' offices. According to Wedge, what exactly is ADHD? When did it become such an epidemic? Why are the numbers of children and teens being diagnosed and medicated continuing to rise? ADHD first appeared in medical books less than 30 years ago. Now it's consuming our younger generation at an alarming rate. To start, we must learn what the symptoms of ADHD are and how it's diagnosed. Then we can look into different treatments available, including short-term and long-term effects of those treatments. Finally, we can decide for ourselves whether or not we believe ADHD is truly the epidemic it appears to be, or whether, by instantly medicating, we as a society are hindering the natural high-energy creativity and impulsivity that is biologically normal for school-aged children. Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder, or ADHD, is one of the most commonly diagnosed developmental disorders in children today. It typically begins in early childhood and can last into adulthood. ADHD not only affects children themselves, but their parents, families, peers, schools, and careers. There are 3 different types of ADHD that are clinically diagnosed. Depending on which symptoms a children experiences the strongest, they are diagnosed with a specific type. The 3 types of ADHD that exist are predominantly inattentive presentation, predominantly hyperactive impulsive presentation, and a combined presentation. Inattention symptoms include careless mistakes at school, work, or other activities, difficulty sustaining attention in tasks or play activities, not listening when spoken to directly, difficulty organizing tasks and activities, easily distracted and forgetful. Hyperactivity symptoms include often fidgeting with hands or feet, squirming in their seats, leaving seats in situations which remaining seating is expected, difficulty playing or engaging in leisure activities quietly, talks excessively. After reading the symptoms, most of that sounds like normal toddler age, school age, teenage behavior. Especially the younger ages, it is a time in their life when they are supposed to be exploring, testing boundaries, and expressing themselves in every way they know how. Children do not come equipped with a natural ability to control their every impulse, reaction, or behavior. By testing limits, they learn what is socially acceptable and what is not. It seems that we as a society no longer accept the fact that children are supposed to be acting this way, yet that's how they learn. We are telling our children that their biological need to explore, express, and test themselves is no longer socially acceptable, that there is something wrong with them. However, there are also some that believe having ADHD gives them an advantage, that what they were told their whole lives were symptoms of something wrong with them were actually the very qualities they needed to stand out and succeed. Those with ADHD are life entrepreneurs, CEOs, leaders, explorers, champion athletes, and out-of-the-box thinkers with extraordinary abilities to work under pressure, multitask, and conceive ideas outside the restrictions of linear thinking. The symptoms that society told these children made them difficult to handle and were in need of medicating were the exact ones that, when channeled and supported, made them very successful adults. According to Dr. Wedge, often behaviors tagged as ADHD are normal childhood responses to stressful situations. I believe ADHD is overdiagnosed and overmedicated, and that well-meaning parents from all backgrounds have been duped into believing that their perfectly normal and healthy child needs psychostimulant medication just to be normal and successful. I believe a lot of parents are uneducated about alternative treatments and are persuaded by society to fix their children. Parents don't like to hear that their child is hard to handle, disruptive, or causing problems. It seems they are looking for a quick fix, so their children can be seen as normal again. Another theory is the financial benefit for pharmaceutical companies from medicating so many young children and adults. According to Dr. Wedge, medication became the go-to solution for kids who were hard to control or struggled in school. By 2012, almost 21 million prescriptions for Ritalin and Adderall were being dispensed for children each year, up from fewer than 3 million prescriptions in 1990. The increase in the amount of medication prescribed for these diagnoses speaks for itself. If children were being evaluated properly and given behavioral therapy before jumping right to medications, the numbers would not even be close to what they are. Behavioral treatment when it comes to ADHD seems to be largely overlooked. With such a dramatic increase in the number of diagnoses of ADHD in the past 30 years, we must start realizing that this epidemic may not be what society is portraying it to be. There is no doubt that the medical community has played its part by widening their scope, that doctors have played their part by taking shortcuts on diagnosing, and that pharmaceutical companies have a huge impact in pushing these medications for their financial benefit. We must consider that what we are being told is wrong with our children might just be another way for corporations to make a profit.